Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. I cannot tell you how thrilled we are to celebrate the opening of the new FastForward space that will enable entrepreneurs to pursue their dreams of building companies right here in Baltimore. And I think the timing of this event, just after Light City, just before the opening of Eager Park next door, and really just on the heels of the inauguration of our new mayor, it really speaks to the momentum that we currently have in our city. I am awestruck every day that I come through the doors, not only at the volume of amazing ideas being created in the labs and dorm rooms here at Johns Hopkins, but also at the ideas being created and worked on across the city in garages and in the community. And all of this change, this hope in the future we think about creating here, would not be possible without the vision and leadership of President Daniels and Deans Rothman, King, Schlesinger, and so many others across this campus who were willing to make this kind of investment and stake this kind of bet on the future of our city. I also know it would not be possible without many of you in this room, those of you that have taken time to mentor our teams, invest in them, fund important programs and spaces, lead our city and state, or the entrepreneurs of you in this room that are making bets on Baltimore and growing your company here. It is all of you that are making this possible, and I also want to make sure to highlight the contributions of the chairs of the Innovation Committee that really got all of this started, Jennifer Alicia and Drew Pardall. They provided the Hopkins faculty vision for this. They're entrepreneurs and scientists of the highest caliber in their own right, and were really great leaders. Lastly, I just want to thank my team for making all of this happen, the programming and space that happens here, especially Brian Stansky, the head of FastForward, and Elizabeth Smythe, our head of strategy and impresario of this evening. So let's celebrate tonight what we're going to start here. Companies, collaborations, friendships, and the future. And it is with great honor that I now introduce Dr. Landon King, the Executive Vice Dean of Johns Hopkins Medicine, who has been one of our most ardent supporters from the early days when FastForward 1812 was just an idea on white paper. And as Landon comes up, I just want to mention that we're so honored to have several other elected officials. Senator McFadden, Delegate Mosby, we have Jim Smith from the Mayor's office, from Senator Van Hollen's office, Charles Connor, and from the Department of Commerce, Secretary Mike Gill. Thank you all so much for your support for tonight and for being here. Thank you. And Councilman Stokes, thank you so much. I did see you come in. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Christy, and good evening. What a fantastic event, what a fantastic occasion. It's a privilege to be here this evening to celebrate this milestone with both our university community as well as so many leaders from around the community and the city. We're grateful for all that all of you have done. At Johns Hopkins Medicine, we have a long track record of making discoveries that determine new approaches to diagnosis and treatment of patients here and around the world. But as we've looked forward, we've asked, how do we make sure that the breakthroughs that are happening at Johns Hopkins are going to translate into products that reach our patients and reach patients around the world? Moreover, how do we ensure that these new technologies not only get started in Baltimore, but in fact they stay in Baltimore? Over the past several years, with the leadership of President Daniels, Christy Weiskel, and many others, we have significantly enhanced our tech transfer infrastructure so that researchers who want to move their inventions from idea to market can do so more easily and more effectively. We opened a smaller FastForward across the street in the Rangos building as a down payment on innovation, if you will. That space was filled from the first day, portending the need for this. This new hub at 1812 Ashland increases the available lab space to support that innovation and advancement of ideas by sevenfold, so that those with startups who want to stay here in East Baltimore, and there are many, many people that do, now have that opportunity with room to grow. Of course, we're providing more than just physical space. Here, ideas flow back and forth among scholar inventors working on a wide range of problems. And creative passion, which our faculty and trainees manifest in abundance, can be focused on concrete next steps through a network of mentors and other resources as they move those ideas forward. For example, through the work of Johns Hopkins Tech Ventures, we pair startups with experienced VCs for guidance on fundraising, regulatory issues, manufacturing, and facilitate the connection between angel investors and the FDA. We offer yearly entrepreneur boot camps and education on topics like product market fit as a means of extending the excitement, the exposure, and the motivation. These fledgling companies have access to our School of Medicine core facilities, a distinguishing feature of this particular hub, and shared equipment that's located here in the hub. We're working hard to ensure that the entire ecosystem is in place to support moving our ideas into products that are going to improve health. Of course, the real draw is something less tangible, something that can't be built over a short time. That is the culture of innovation in the Johns Hopkins University. Companies, investors want to be a part of that. Our inventors want to stay linked to that. This space offers them a way. FastForward 1812 represents an investment in the future and a win for our patients, for entrepreneurs, for the university, and for the city of Baltimore. I want to offer my sincere appreciation to the many officials and trustees who have made this day and this space possible. And with that, it's my privilege to introduce the president of the Johns Hopkins University, Ron Daniels.
Thanks, Lyndon. It's truly a great moment to be here at the official ribbon cutting for this space. And it truly takes a village to get us to this moment. And I want to thank all of you who are here representing so many different parts of Baltimore's communities for coming to attend this event. I would be really remiss, though, if I didn't say what so many of us are thinking, of course, which is how lucky we are to have Christy Weisfeld here at Hopkins, in Baltimore, and in You know, she's an impresario extraordinaire. Her energy, her optimism, her can-do attitude, her just unrelenting pursuit of this agenda has been something that is reflected very powerfully in so many of the successes we've enjoyed over the last several years, but truly reflected in this building and the ethos that we celebrate here today. So, Christy, to you I say thank you. Bob Embry, I've told this story many times, but it was Bob Embry that introduced Christy to me in the first place. And as I've said before, Christy came to see me with a very solicitous, deferential, respectful set of ideas, which basically said, you're really screwing this up as a collectivity. Lawyers are the core problem, which again, as a law professor, that really won my heart immediately. And it ended with essentially a few days later, my saying to Christy, if you're so smart, come in and fix this and make this great. And she's done that. And so as much as we've accomplished, we know that this is just but a fraction of what we can do together. So Christy, we're lucky you're here. Start here. It's a great tagline for FastForward 1812. You saw it on your invitation, on the signs around here, including this ever so subtle one behind me. It's an invitation to all of us to launch our best ideas from here. It speaks to the immense promise of this space. But of course, Johns Hopkins didn't start here with this remarkable space in this remarkable building with this remarkable leadership. Rather, taking a page from the startups now working here, we started with an idea that grew into the space that you stand in right now. An idea that emerged, as Christy indicated a few moments ago, 3.5 years ago, when our faculty and students in the broader community made a resounding call to fill a gap in our innovation ecosystem and create an unprecedented space in our city, affordable, adaptable, expandable lab space. An idea to co-locate Johns Hopkins Tech Ventures and this 25,000 square foot home for startups in the same building as industry partners like Toshiba, to spur the kinds of serendipitous encounters that spark new relationships, new ideas, new innovation. An idea to build a launching pad for entrepreneurs who emerge not only from Hopkins, but also in fact from across Baltimore, and who are now able to take their ideas from conception to experimentation to grow their companies right here. And of course, to make sure that no one is ever more than 200 feet from that elixir of innovation, the coffee machine, which is over there. Indeed, the space in this building is a physical manifestation of our commitment to bring together the essential ingredients of the primordial soup necessary for innovation to take root and to become dominant here in Baltimore. An authentic, dynamic urban environment where creativity is nurtured, initiative and experimentation are supported, and diverse ideas and experiences are not only welcome, they're sought out, they're essential. A place where entrepreneurs from all stages intermingle, where scientists, clinicians, legal experts, even legal experts, there's a place for us here, and venture capitalists collide, where people starting mission-driven enterprises sit cheek by jowl with bioengineers and oncologists and people from a diverse array of life experiences challenge, enrich, and complement each other. It is a place that I think truly reflects the creative, bold, resilient spirit that is at the core of our city, and we're proud to be here. A place that makes manifest our belief in its future and the role that innovation plays in creating economic opportunity as startups transform into thriving companies that start, stay, and grow here. A place that adds to and draws upon the already robust assets of our city and our region, the academic and research institutions, the proximity to federal agencies that fund and support research and development, with more than $2 billion in research grant funding, the leadership of private sector companies like Metadune and Under Armour, and the passion of community leaders to bend the trajectory of our city. So today, we truly don't simply celebrate a space, but we celebrate the future, and the future that will happen here, starting now, starting here. And because in its very essence, innovation is a collaborative endeavor, we thank all of those public officials who are here today. But particularly want to do a shout out to Mayor Pugh and our partners from city and state government, the inspired leadership of foundations like AbleBot, and our belief that new industry and nimble entrepreneurs will be a key part of the reason that our city and the lives of our neighbors, and most important, our future generations, will be what they can and what they should be. So with that in mind, I'm thrilled to mark this moment for FastForward, for our institution, and for the city we call home. And again, it is my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Mayor Catherine Pugh, who not only shares very deeply this vision, but who has been an ardent champion of our collective desire to create a stronger, more vibrant future for our communities, our city, and all who call home. Mayor Pugh.
I want you to know that every time I look at you, I think about that moment when we were sitting and having a cup of tea, and you said to me, share your vision for housing in Baltimore. And I talked about creating these neighborhoods and communities, and tears practically came to his eyes, and he said to me, you've got to come to Eager Park. Because I talked about,
3 days later.
yes, I talked about being able to invest in people who live in our city, to get them to take on the opportunities of housing that we could create in those neighborhoods. And when I came, and I said, we need to be able to create a lottery or something like that. And tears practically rolled down your eyes, and you said, you've got to come to Eager Park. We're doing that this weekend. And I got to choose the first 10 individuals who will now be living, if you've not looked out the window and taken a look at Eager Park, that will live there. Because Johns Hopkins decided that they would invest $35,000 for every individual who worked at Hopkins who wanted to live there. So thank you for sharing your vision with me. Thank you so much. I think you've already said it, but I can't say it enough, that Christie is more than a gem to Baltimore. You're a visionary, and we really do appreciate your vision, your work, and your tenacity to take a vision and to make it a reality. And I think everybody has a Bob Embry story, and I have one too. Mine began with Fish Out of Water, where I came to Bob Embry and said, you know, we've got this wonderful idea to put art inside of Baltimore's communities, and all I need is $100,000 to jumpstart this idea. I was a new city council person at that time, and Bob looked at me. I said, the mayor wants it. He said, the mayor wants it? And I said, yeah, the mayor wants it. And so he said, let me tell you what I'll do. Get me a letter from the mayor. I'll give you $100,000. If your project is successful, give me back my $100,000. If not, we'll, you know, call it a grant. So I want you to know that we raised $1 million, wired the classroom, provided instruments for our children, and I gave Bob back his $100,000. But let me tell you how excited I am to be standing right here. Because when you think about the innovation and the technology and the biotech companies that can grow right here, that can be a part of creating manufacturing and bringing it back to Baltimore, who can start their companies from a vision, an idea, and then to be reinforced by an institution such as Johns Hopkins. How good does it get? It doesn't get much better than that. And so I'm excited because I know that 1812, fast forward, 1812, not only will start here, will grow here, and will be a part of our economy. I tell my department heads that we've got to make room for millenniums because they don't work the way that some of us have become used to working. They want to be out there creating, innovating, and coming up with new ideas, and we've got to allow them to grow and to be able to do that. And I met a gentleman here, he told me you were in LA, but what he's investing in is companies right here. So everybody knows that we stand on the forefront of stimulating our economy with the ideas of individuals that we know will change what America will look like in the next 10 years, 20 years. Can you imagine? You can think back, some of you older folks that are in here, 20 years ago, who knew we would have cell phones in everybody's hands, including 3, 4, and 5-year-olds? Just try to think what this world is going to look like 20 years from now with the innovation, creativity, and all of the accomplishments that will take place in this space. I can tell you that we realize that Baltimore no longer will allow the corridors of 270 to take on all of those tech companies because we know we can do it right here. So I'm excited, and I'm so proud of Johns Hopkins and its investment in Baltimore, its investment in young people, its investment in ideas and innovation that can change our communities forever. But it is how we collaborate and work together that will make a difference in Baltimore for years to come. So for that, I thank everyone, Johns Hopkins University, all of our elected officials, because I got to work with them all the time, so I got to thank them again. Thank you all for believing that Johns Hopkins is the university in our city that is renowned throughout the world, that can help change America, the nation, and the world. So again, I'm excited, so let's keep moving, fast forward.
Grand finale, I've asked the mayor to stay up here, and if Landon, Ron, and Jennifer could join us, we are going to count down backwards, and when we get to the end of the countdown, I want everyone to say start here, and we're going to have the inaugural lighting of our sign. Okay, everybody ready? Okay, countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1, start here. Grab a drink, mingle. There's tours until 7 p.m. downstairs if you want to tour.